Hello. Hi, you're welcome everyone to Let's Discuss, where we talk about things that impact on our faith and life as Christians in a non-religious manner, but nonetheless, the focus of our talks is for it to be transformational and not just informational. The aim of this session is not just to give out data or tell compelling stories, but to act as the arena for transformation. So you're welcome. For those of you joining us for the first time, you're welcome. Feel free to like, share, and contribute. We want to get not just one side of the matter, but all sides of the topic, and you're welcome. And for those of you who attend regularly, thank you so much. Your contributions and your attendance means a lot to us and helps us to be able to provide relevant topics and to share and also get more inspiration in order to have topics and things to talk about. Today we will be talking about a very important topic. I'm not sure why it's a bit hot in here. I'm sure a few people will be experiencing a bit of warm temperatures as well. It's quite warm in here. I can tell you that, but God will help us in Jesus' name. Today we're talking about a very important topic, which most of us would have seen, which is shoot more arrows. This topic, I believe, is so very important, and we would see that it's a natural progression from last week. Last week we talked extensively on a particular matter. If you've not watched it, go back and watch it. You will discover that it's a natural, I'll call it, it's just the next step, today's topic. And the topic is shoot more arrows. Shoot more arrows. And where did we get this from? Before some of you are wondering, what's this man about? Why is he telling us to shoot arrows? There's a story in the Bible which we would use as our vehicle, as we normally do. We use a Bible story or a Bible reference as the vehicle to drive our conversation. There was a particular king in Israel, and we can see the reference there, who was troubled by some enemies, and he went to the man of God, the prophet, and the prophet told him, strike the ground with arrows. And he struck the ground 3 times and stopped. Um, According to the Bible, it said the man of God was angry with him and said you should have struck 5 or 6 times, because striking 5 or 6 times would have completely destroyed the enemies. But striking just 3 times meant he could only win against the enemies 3 times. One thing about this Bible reference, which I find very fascinating, is that, and welcome Ngozi and everyone who is tuned in. One thing I find fascinating about this study is that growing up, the focus has always been, oh, he should have struck 3 times, he should have struck more than 3, he should have struck 5, 6 times. I want us to examine 2 reasons why he didn't strike more than 3 times, and more importantly, how it applies to us and how we need to move away from being in that position, in that situation. We'll understand why he did what he did. We'll understand, and now you'll find out that what he did is common to most of us. We will understand why he did it. We'll understand what to do ourselves and how to get out of that situation. And I hope we don't go to church today in terms of, I might get excited towards the end, but we'll see. God would lead us in Jesus' name. So there are 2 things, like I said, which we need to consider before we get very hard on this king. That, king, why did you strike just 3 times and not more? Surely the prophet of God has told you to strike. Why didn't you do it more than once? And there are 2 reasons. The first thing is what I term as the hidden correlation. What do we mean by hidden correlation? That means a lot of times what we do, especially as Christians, doesn't have physical output. And by that, I mean, when we do things in the spirit, pray, have faith, worship, it's not every single time that we have an outward manifestation of what we've been praying for or asking for, praising for. There's something called the hidden correlation, that is what we are doing on spiritual matters may not really translate into physical manifestations. And what this causes is, at times when we are praying about a particular situation or a thing, because we're not seeing what's going on in the spirit realm, we're not seeing what is going on with our prayers, what stage of where our prayers has reached. Has it been approved by God? Is it stuck between the angels, or has it been approved by God and the Prince of Persia or some forces are impacting on the manifestation? A lot of times we act based on faith, but I put it down as hidden correlation, whereby we're not sure about the progress of our spiritual activities. We're not sure how those things we are praying for and requesting will manifest, because we can't see what's going on in the spirit realm. Also, there's something called, there's that battle as well, which is the cause and effect, whereby we're not, at times when things are happening, which is almost similar to free will, because God has given us free will on a matter, there is that tendency for us to want to approach spiritual things based on our physical understanding and physical comfort around the matter. And the final thing around the hidden correlation is that at times we have those internal battles which we've mentioned. Are we sure God has answered that prayer? Are we sure that the things we're asking God for, we know He can do everything, but is He going to do it for us? Because are we sure what we're asking for